wá pín o bọ́nà bá jìnnà jìnnà àdópin o àti sáré àdópin aré àbàtìkì ìyá àdópin ìyá o àti súnsún àti kọ̀ǹgìrì ó má ti gbẹ̀yìn kọ́ lọ́tẹ̀ ìmọ̀ o mẹ́rin o.
ilé òyìnbó lágbára tó omi fàdé ayé òyìnbó ló kọjọ sí káàmù o ayé náà la ó wà títà ó fi ṣẹ́gun lójú àwọn ọlọ́tẹ̀ ẹkún àkọjá òkùnkùn ayùmọ̀lẹ́ fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ọjọ́ ayọ̀ sún mọ́lé o.
Omi láéláé fọ́nbá, ó mà ní láéláé fọ́nbá, Yorùbá ò ní jọba lẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ nìkan, ó ti gbẹ̀yìn kọ́ lọ́tẹ̀ ìmọ̀ o.
Ẹ̀dìdé bí olójú, ẹgbẹ́ jàgbá sílẹ̀ o, ẹran tí a tọmọdọmọ. Onísùnwà kò ní rẹ̀ wá, bá ó fi ṣẹ́kù. Ẹni tó dé ọ̀tọ̀jú, ẹni tí rẹ̀ ń bọ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ò ní ní dúró. Ẹ̀dúró gbọ̀n, ẹ̀dúró gbọ̀n, ẹ̀dúró gbọ̀n, gbọ̀n, gbọ̀n. Àtìwájú onímọ̀ yóò yẹ bá sùn ẹgbẹ́, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ sún mọ́lé o.
Bí a bá kú tí a bá jí, a ó mẹ́rin ní ìfẹ́ràn ẹni bá ṣàìsàn kò ní yóò lè mọ iye àlàáfíà. Bí a bá ṣaláìní ká tó wá ní a ó mọ iye bàbá mojoojúmọ́ jẹun adára. Ó ti pa sí Yorùbá ní iṣẹ́ ọmọ oṣù ló wà bàbá mi òkè gàgàgà bí ṣe lépe lẹ́yìn àṣòótọ́. Ọ̀yọ́, Ìbàdàn, Oǹdó, Ìjẹ̀ṣà, Ilé Ifẹ̀ o.
Bá ohùn adọ́lé Odùduwà ló ń pè.
Àkúrẹ́, Ọ̀wọ̀, Ìkàrẹ́, Òwèyí, Èkìtì, Ẹgbóhùn, Ifẹ̀ o.
Bá ohùn adọ́lé Odùduwà ló ń pè.
Ìbàràpá, Ilé Ẹ̀gbádò, ẹ̀yìn Ọ̀ṣun, Ẹgbóhùn, Ifẹ̀ o.
Bá ohùn adọ́lé Odùduwà ló ń pè.
Ẹ̀yin Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ Àlárẹ̀, ẹ̀yin Ẹ̀gbá ọmọ Ìṣàbí.
Bá ohùn adọ́lé Odùduwà ló ń pè. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ọjọ́ ayọ̀ sún mọ́lé o.
Tó mo kó nílé mo kálejò, mo kí lọ́kùnrin mo kí lóbìnrin, mo kí ọmọdé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kóyún inú mo káṣẹ̀dí, mo kí gbogbo ojú tó wò mí káàkiri gbogbo ayé, mo kí yín pé ẹ kú kalẹ̀ ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Kí n tó máa bẹ́tò yìí lọ, ẹ jẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Olódùmarè ọba tó dá mi, ọba lónìí ọba lánàá ọba lọ́jọ́ gbogbo. Òun ni ọba tó dákú tí kìí kú, òun lọba tó dá ọrun tí kìí sùn kódà kìí tòògbé. Kùránì ní látàwùsòwò sí náà tó wà lánàá ọba tí kìí tòògbé ni débi pé yóò sùn. Tó bá sùn ta ni ó bá tọ́jú ayé, tó bá sùn ta ni ó bá ṣèjọba sánmọ̀. Tó Olódùmarè ọba tí ó ti jẹ́ kí wọ́n kéde ikú mi, Ọlọ́run náà ni mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ o. Ìwọ ńkọ́? Ìwọ náà dúpẹ́ tiẹ̀. Lẹ́lẹ́kejì wá ni wípé ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ ètò wa yìí, ẹ má kàn máa wò kẹ́ máa jáde. Ẹ wo ibi tí wọ́n kọ subscribe sí fẹ́yìn tẹ́ bá wà ní Facebook, ẹ tẹ́ bá wà ní YouTube, ẹ wo ibi tí wọ́n kọ subscribe sí, ẹ bá wa tẹ̀. Bákan náà ni pé ibi tí wọ́n fi àmì aago ti nì, ẹ tẹ̀ yẹn náà, nítorí pé a ti di television station. Gbogbo ìta ṣe ń ṣe yìí a kàn fi tẹ̀sán ni. Lágbára Ọlọ́run látijọ́ Monday lọ, a bẹ̀rẹ̀ odindi prógrámù gan-an nígbògì tẹ́ máa wò kedere láti lè wá jẹ àǹfààní oríṣiríṣi ètò tá a ti nà lẹ̀. Lémi nìkan ó tó ríṣi ètò 4 sí 5 tèmi nìkan máa ṣe. Àwọn staffs tó kù, àwọn crew members tó kù, àwọn náà ní lóríṣiríṣi. Ẹ̀yin náà kú ti ń wò pa ṣèròyìn, a sì ń ṣe ojúmọ́ ayọ̀ tó bá wa àti àwọn ètò lóríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀ la máa ṣe láti lè máa wá jẹ àǹfààní yìí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá ti subscribe, tẹ́ ẹ ti tẹ notification bell, ẹ lè mọ̀ tá a bá dẹ́ta kẹ́ lè máa jàǹfààní àfikẹ́tẹ̀ ó wà rẹ̀ yín tẹ́ ń wò lórí Facebook láti lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti lè máa jàǹfààní kí wọ́n wá notify yín tá a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ follow bí tí wọ́n kọ follow sí nìkan lẹ́yìn ó kọ̀tẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀bà dára wa bákan náà ni pé torí pé àti di television station àǹfààní láti sílẹ̀ nínú television station wa yìí láti gbé ní tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sáyé ẹ̀yin ní òwò tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ṣe ni ọjà lẹ́yìn tà ìkéde lẹ́ní ìpolówó ọjà àbí ìkíni àbáyẹyẹ pàápàá èyíkéyìí tẹ́ ẹ bá ń ṣe ń bẹ̀ ẹ pè wá ẹ gbé wá sí Bàbá Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV ẹ jẹ́ ká bá yín polówó ẹ̀ sí gbogbo ayé ẹ jẹ́ ká bá yín ṣèkíni bóyá ayẹyẹ lẹ́yìn ṣe ẹ pè wá ká wá bá yín kọ̀ọ̀bá ẹ̀ á sì bá yín lé ẹ̀ gbogbo ayé báyìí ni ó máa wò ó bákan náà ni pé ẹ̀yin fẹ́ ṣèkíni ni àbẹ́ fẹ́ ṣèkéde ẹ sì fẹ́ kí gbogbo ayé gbọ́ ẹ pè ròyìn ẹ pè iléeṣẹ́ wa Gbélé Gbọ́ ni wá á bá yín ṣe tí gbogbo ayé ó sì máa rí ṣé Yorùbá ní ẹ̀tà ní kọ́tà kọmọ oko kí gbogbo ẹranko kí wọ́n tó tún tà ẹ pè àwa Bàbá Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV ẹ rí pé tàbá bá yín polówó ọjà yín wẹ̀rẹ̀wẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí lọ́jà yín ó máa tà ẹ ṣé o lónìí ká má bòpò lọ́ọ̀lì olóró kí a sì má sọ iléyá ká má sọ ìdílé pẹ́ ìròyìn ni mo mú wá látọ̀dọ̀ Lady K lórí ọ̀rọ̀ bí Lady K ṣe jẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ti ń pè mí pé bàbá níbo lẹ bọ̀rọ̀ Lady K dé ṣó ti parí síbẹ̀ náà nìyẹn ṣe ti gbàgbé ọmọbìnrin ni rárá o a ò gbàgbé Lady K ayé ò sì gbàgbé rẹ̀ àtòun àti ẹnìkan tó kù tí wọ́n jọ wà ní àhámọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kò sẹ́ni tó sùn tó wò ó pàápàá jùlọ the Association of All Media Presenters tí a jẹ́ social media lórí Yorùbá Nation kò sẹ́ni tó sùn nù wa láìpẹ́ yìí ni wọ́n pe Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì tí ń ṣe agbẹjọ́rò àwọn Ìgbòho àti àwọn tí wọ́n kó nílé rẹ̀ àwọn méjèèjìlá tí wọ́n kó tí wọ́n sì ti fi mẹ́wàá lẹ̀ tó kẹ̀dí méjì Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì òun náà sùn kò wó o bó ti ń lọ sókè ló ń lọ sódò kódà wọ́n tún ṣe gbé ìgbẹ́jọ́ míì dìde wọ́n tún ṣe institute another case against DSS lórí bí wọ́n ti kọ̀ láti fi Lady K àtẹnìkan tó kù sílẹ̀ ni ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tún sùn wọn fún contempt of law DSS máa yarí wọn láwọn ò ní fi Lady K lẹ̀ àtẹnìkan tó kù kódà àwọn náà fẹ́ gbẹ́jọ́ dìde fún terrorist case Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì ó sì gbọ́n nínú ó gbọ́n lẹ́yìn kódà bá sọ̀rọ̀ mo fẹ́ ká wo nǹkan tí Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì sọ lórí Lady K bí iṣu ṣe kú àti bọ́bẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ pátá láàgbò lẹ́nu ọmọkùnrin kódà ìbéèrè tẹ́yìn ní lọ́kàn tẹ́ fẹ́ bí wọ́n ti bá yín bí léèrè ẹjá lọ gbọ́n tí Barrister Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì sọ káwa náà tún lè mọ̀ kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Lady K mò ń padà bọ̀.
We're live. We want to greet everybody. Good evening to you. I am live with Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì. This is Nigeria, and then we are discussing important topics: the law, human rights, law enforcement agencies, citizenship and rights, and enforcement as may be concerned. So Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì is the counsel representing persons, if you remember, who were taken from Oloye Sunday Igboho's residence in Ibadan recently, and then some of them have been released. In fact, most of them, but we still have like 2 persons, if I'm correct, who are still being held against court order. You know, gimmicks like SSS bringing different reasons they won't release them. So we want to discuss human rights in Nigeria, legality, the law, judiciary, and all that, and rights of citizens and the rest, and updates with the persons who are still being held at the SSS detention facility. Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́ngbèsì, kindly just say hello to the viewers. People are waiting to hear this update from you.
All right, thank you very much. Viewers at home, good evening. It's nice to be here.
Great, you're welcome. So let us start with, you are a human rights lawyer of note. And then a lot of people know that, for you to have handled this particular matter, it must have been tough. Out of 12, you got 10 out from SSS, knowing that SSS will not obey Quaternial. It must have been a tough battle you waged. But then let us have the update. Why are two still being held? What's do you agree with whatever reason or excuse they gave to still be holding the ones that are still in custody?
Yeah, so the DSS have got no justification to still, detain the detainees till this time. This is simply because the court order is very clear. The court has actually granted them bail. And apart from that, there's a release warrant directly issued to the DSS. So we expect ordinarily in a decent society that the DSS should have respected the court order and allow these people, go freely. You see, in the eyes of the law, they are free citizens, but they are unlawfully being kept by the DSS. So right now, what the DSS is doing is actually very wrong, and we're doing all we can within the ambit of the law to challenge it and to ensure that we bring rule of law to bear. You see, frankly, this is not even about the people in detention alone. This is about the fact that we need to be able to analyze the extent at which government agencies have respect for the law, have respect for our constitution, and have got respect for the court system. In every democracy, where there are duties as to separation of power, each of the arms of government has responsibility to carry out to ensure that the society can grow and develop within the confines of the law. So if you have the judicial arm of government and a particular pronouncement has been made, and you have an agency of the executive arm of government which have refused to respect the law, it goes to show that the country is yet to develop to the level of a decent society where we can respect the law. And for me, under the principle of corporate governance, we think we should hold the top and the head of the government responsible. We expect that if this administration should give proper direction as to respect for the rule of law, there's no reason why the DGDSS or the DSS will refuse to comply with a validly given court order.
I'm supposed to ask this one. Were you surprised that the SSS even flouted court order in the first place? I mean, you're a lawyer of note, and then you must have practiced for years, and you must have also related with cases similar to this before. Was it anything surprising to you that you obtained court order and SSS is flouting it? Were you surprised or were you not?
Well, I think it will be better to use the word concerned or worried. I'm worried because I believe that for every nation that is growing and developing, we every day develop more and learn to understand the dictates and the principle of democracy. Yes, you see, as human beings, we have the tendency to, personally, I do not like people who misuse power. I have disdain for people in power who take advantage of power to oppress citizens. And so personally, I thought that by now in 2021, that the Nigerian democratic system should have developed to the extent that we begin to have respect for our courts, we begin to have respect for the constitution. Take a look at it. A lot of these politicians who get to position of authority get there as a result of declaration from the court. So if we can respect the court decisions as to, political offices or political elections as it were, I think it is wrong for the DSS to flout or disregard a properly given court order, regardless of the excuses or the basis upon which their decision has been taken. So I am not just surprised. I am worried. Yes, in the past we've had similar experiences, particularly even in the democratic era. It was a normal norm for the military to disregard any court order they are not comfortable with. But then this is democracy. I will believe that the country is growing. I will more consistently grow in that direction. So it's a great thing of concern for me. And we are very sure that we may end up using the current DGDSS as a litmus test to show that there is law in Nigeria, and that we must learn to respect the law. We've made up our mind, having consulted enough, and having given them opportunity to redeem themselves of such illegality. We made up our mind to approach the court for contempt proceedings against the DGDSS, and I am very sure that be it in principle or in reality, the DGDSS may be a guest in Kuje prison in no distant time.
Okay. Let me. So, as the lawyer representing these persons, I was the counsel to them. When last were you allowed access? Because we learned that in most cases they don't even allow access by their counsels or people to even see them or talk to them or have words with them. But at least are you being able to at least have access to check up on them and know their current condition and situation?
Yes. Last week I was there. I was with Lady K and the other guy. I spent good time with them, and we had good discussion relating to their relating to their case. The DSS has actually filed terrorism charges against them shamefully, and so we needed to discuss this with them. I met with Lady K. She's the only lady in the entire DSS facility, and she's constantly been mentally demoralized, and she's almost broken. This is simply because she has ailing mother who is out there crying every day. She's the only surviving child of the family, and she's the breadwinner of so many people. But then she has been held down there by the DSS without showing any concern for her. So I was with her. We had this discussion. We tried to encourage her, to let her understand that at the end of the tunnel there'll be light, and we are very certain about this.
Yes, before I even move on to my other question, somebody, Wale King on Facebook, is asking whether this time he's asking about the people who were also killed. These ones are still alive but in detention or in custody. But the people who were allegedly killed or who were killed, as proven already, even confirmed by the SSS itself, that some were killed in the course of that operation that night. Have you been able to reach out to the family? What is the situation? What is the update as far as recovering their body or retrieving their body?
Yeah, we are currently working on that, and I think we're making good progress. We're in touch with the families, and of course, I think ordinarily the DSS would have even released their corpse to us long ago, but because they are dead already, we want to ensure that there's justice in the real sense of it. So that is the situation. Murdered in Chief Sunday Igboho's house.
Sorry, we didn't hear the last part of that statement. I think.
Yeah, so hopefully we should be able to give something concrete and robust for the public relating to those who were killed. But we're working on it.
Okay, great. So next, let us talk about human rights generally, the SSS, all these agencies, and if you like the word impunity, because I'm surprised. I'm sure that you're also surprised. As well, you like us to use the word consent, that court would give order, and then the SSS will be running almost a parallel court too, and saying no, that is not the one to obey. This is the one we want to choose. Let us go to human rights in Nigeria. From your years of practicing, what would you say this one looks like to you? Because you must have been obtaining court order and effecting them easily. This one looks maybe to you also different, and you are shocked. Let's talk about human rights in Nigeria.
The conversation about human rights in Nigeria is very clear and loud, and every new day it's getting more more visibility and more audience. But the truth is that, you see, the culture of respect for the human right is dependent on the nature and the psychology, or let me put it better, the character of the administration in town. Because essentially, respect for human rights boils down from the disposition of government to criticism, opposition, and of course, a respect for the sanctity of human rights as enshrined in our constitution. For me, I think if I want to scale this government hasn't done enough in that regard, and that is essentially the problem, because the government will give the direction that security agencies will follow, and that will determine how far and how well. But you look at the experience we have all over the country, and apart from the issue of disregard for court order, you talk about impunity, you talk about misuse of power, you talk about abuse of human rights, reckless use of power against citizens. I mean, we have plenty of them that we've experienced. And again, the problem essentially also is that this calls to the fact that our justice system needs to be addressed properly. Now, even if you have good laws and you have a functional court system that can ensure that those that are aggrieved or those whose right has been abused can seek redress or justice, then another thing you need to talk about is the capacity or the institutionalized way of enforcing court judgment. Well, let me give you, for example, if you commence an action against the Nigerian police or the DSS, and there's an award of 20 billion, 10 billion, 1 million naira against security agencies, how do you enforce such judgment? The point is, for example, if it is easy for us to enforce a 20 billion naira judgment against the DSS in their entire life will never disrespect any citizen again, will never take any action against the interest or the right of any citizen. But in a station whereby there are judgments against Nigerian police force, but you cannot enforce the judgment, it's difficult to enforce the judgment because the laws that provide for the enforcement of such judgment requires that you as individual, as a private citizen, you need to obtain the fiat of, you need to obtain the consent of the AG Federation before you can proceed to do that. So it implies that even when you have judgment that's to be done for the fundamental rights against government agencies, particularly the security agencies, you get this judgment, they survive more in document than in reality. And this is something very, very important. So it means that there's a need for us to enact laws that can allow that, okay, whenever the Nigerian police force or security agencies are abused, inflict on the rights of citizens should be able to approach the court, get judgment, and also enforce the judgment. It is very important. For example, if the Nigerian police force is spending half of its budget on payment for damages every year, then the police chief will understand that they've got to need money to do other things, and they try to avoid things that can lead to them spending a lot of money to compensate citizens. So that's another issue we need to look into. But then also, you see, all this boils down to the value system and the character of the society, and of course the government. You see, in law, we have different schools of thought, and it is opined that those who believe that law should reflect the quality and the value system of the society essentially believe that leaders must give direction, the type of character the citizens must develop. So when you have a Nigerian police force that cannot even protect citizens, rather inflicts injury on citizens, it goes to show that that agency does not represent the people, does not have the proper orientation to understand the sole motive of setting up such an organization. And that is why it is convenient for a police officer to abuse a citizen's right and feel so comfortable about it. I believe in developed world, it is not like that, because police officers are glad about the job they are doing. They are very proud about the job they are doing, and they always want to be in that station where they are protecting citizens, they are showing love to citizens, and they are happy citizens are doing well, unlike the kind of experience we have in Nigeria. In 2021, we still have a DSS that will invade citizens' house and carry out such a reckless and the kind of activity that took place on the 1st of July in Chief Sunday Igboho's house. It's actually a sordid tale, and that is the kind of experience we have every day today all over the country.
Barrister, well done. I must commend you. But then there's this question. In fact, it is in two ways. Some are saying, "Oh, court has ordered that Oloye Sunday will be paid 20 billion." Others are saying, SSS is appealing it to. but whether it is official that it is being appealed or not, what is affecting that order? What is the update on that? Is the SSS at least respecting that?
Oh well, right. You know, the decision was made at the court of first instance, and it is within the right of the SSS to
To
appeal
also
such
appeal.
judgment. And of course, we can take that to, I mean, to the Supreme Court. And it is when we get to the Supreme Court that the final decision is made, and we know that is the final say. So we will have to wait till then to see what the DSS, what will be the basis of their appeal. But for me, I do think for us, we are glad about the judgment. This is simply because it is a signal to the entire world that
It's symbolic.
the organization called SSS or DSS is a reckless one that has no respect of no regard for democracy and democratic tenets and no regard for rule of law. And of course, it goes to show that the current administration also was successfully built for itself. I mean, a statute for illegality in the course of running their government. And some of these things we can't take it for granted because the entire world is watching, and the record and the profile will remain so.
Barrister, let me take it to the profession now, the legal profession. If this happens over and again, like SSS keeps repeating the same thing, like they don't respect court order. We saw it in the case of Showore, we saw it in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, we saw it in the case of Oloye Chief Sunday Igboho, we saw it in the several other cases, including the ones that didn't make it into media popularity like this. And as lawyers, is there something the bar is doing to see that at least they address this situation, that nobody or agency should be above the court or the law? Are judges afraid of SSS? Why are judges still entertaining cases from the SSS, giving them ex parte orders to detain suspects? And whenever it is time, the court says, okay, you may now release them. It's difficult. Why are courts still entertaining SSS? And what is the bar doing to make sure that the law does not become ridiculous in the hand of agencies like this?
Yes, so I will agree with you. I'm not the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. I'm just a member. But I will agree with you that there's a need for the association to step up its advocacy duty in ensuring that crucial stakeholders in the justice system are properly engaged to advance the cause of justice. I think, well, the current NBA leadership has got good disposition, but I think they are not doing enough. Personally, I wrote a letter to the office of the president, NBA president, and I didn't get any response till now on this particular very important subject matter. So I think the bar needs to carry out the bar has got a committee working on that anyway, but we're not doing enough because a matter like this, that is this notorious, we have government agencies showing utter disregard to the court system, and yet the bar is not saying anything about it. But then, you see, we must also appreciate the fact that in the pure theory of law, everything is governed by norms, and the law is derived from a particular law. So I think what the bar is doing is that they expect those of us handling matters like that to follow the procedure of the law. For example, if the DGDSS has refused to respect court order, we have opportunity of approaching the court for contempt proceedings. So let it be that when the contempt proceeding is being exhausted, and yet we have a station whereby the DGDSS or a particular person, because the DGDSS or the entire agency has got no immunity against court system. DGDSS is not the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So for that reason, what we are going to do is to proceed with the contempt, and our single and most important prayer is that we want the court to commit the DGDSS to prison for utter disregard of court order and nothing more. And so we need this to be done. And when it is done in the country, it will go a long way to tell other agencies that you cannot trivialize court order. and that's my position. Well, talking about the issue of SSS approaching the Nigerian courts to get order to detain citizens. Then you see, the law actually allows them to do that, and so at most times they rush to magistrate courts where they can quickly run up this process and get what they want. But then, even when you have that court order, the court order can also be challenged in court. So it is not something superficial, you know, because in the real sense of it, if we were to be in a decent society, when the DSS claimed that they've arrested a terrorist, I mean, Nigerians ordinarily would have been happy that we have an organization that is working. But if you're introducing people like Lady K, who is just a journalist or a blogger, who is just into, social crusade and advocacy, you're saying to the world that she's a terrorist. I mean, it goes to show that the reason why the agency was actually established in the real sense of it has been forfeited, because the money and the funding going into SSS is for the purpose of carrying out very, very important responsibility. So it's just like the Nigerian army arresting a journalist, calling the journalist terrorist, when you have Boko Haram members tormenting and fomenting trouble all over the country. So, I mean, these are serious issues that should concern everyone.
I have many questions, Barrister, but I will limit it because I know I stole part of your busy schedule and busy time to bring you on the show. What exactly are they saying Lady K did, aside from just live streaming or being a journalist or reporting? What exactly did they say Lady K did, or did they say Lady K has committed to have warranted that they won't even release?
In fact, if you read the charge sheet, you'll be disappointed, even as a journalist, because though they were charged under the Anti-Terrorism Protection Act, but then if you look at the substance of the charges, it is very, very ridiculous. It has got nothing to do with terrorism, and it just shows that government is frustrated and angry about people who are opposing their policies and their position, and they are just trying to silence people. And I do not think that this administration should be interested more in enforcing acceptability. I think this government can actually get the acceptance of people if they engage people more properly and get opportunity for deliberative assembly where people can have a sense of belonging in the Nigerian project. But if you continue to enforce, or if you think that you can push people to respect you, to obey whatever you're doing, it will not work. The charge sheet is a nonsense and does not mean anything to us. But then our concern is that government is interested in keeping these people out of public domain so that they can't do what they are supposed to do in order to reduce or to suppress them. And they are achieving this, unfortunately, because some people who are not strong or bold enough can now come out to continue to sustain the campaign. And so this government needs to understand that in order for us to, for example, if you look at why there's agitation all over the country, why the country is so divided, is because government has failed to engage people properly. Government has also failed to ensure that there's this interaction platform where people can actually express their grievances, and their grievances will be taken into action or into the. For example, if you look at the life and the struggle of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, aka Igboho, this campaign actually started when he was actually raising issues as it relates to killings by alleged Fulani herdsmen. But then government never did anything about it. And this campaign continued until he started demanding that then if government cannot protect the Yoruba people, he actually need Yoruba nation. And so, I do not think there's anything wrong about that. So government needs to calm down and understand that this government is about the people. You cannot derive legitimacy from yourself or by enforcing it on the people. Sovereignty is actually for the people. You can only derive legitimacy and support and acceptability when you engage people and when you allow people to express their views, and when you engage them in a level whereby people will understand that this country actually belongs to them.
Barrister, I've engaged with at least 5 to 6 lawyers who are handling cases involving the SSS, and they all have almost the same response as you, that the SSS is actually very lawless. And some of them told me that it looks like judges are afraid of SSS. Whatever the reason, maybe there was an antecedent building up to that. I do not know. But you, from your response tonight, you are thinking or contemplating instituting, or maybe you have already finalized steps to institute a contempt suit against DGSSS. What is your confidence level that judges will be willing to even issue or give you
our confidence level is the fact that our confidence level is just about the fact that the laws are very, very clear, and we are just going to deal with the law. You know, it's just going to be directly what the law says, and so that's the source of our strength, and we're ready to face it. We've done all we need to do to ensure that we gain some level of cooperation and understanding of the lawless organization refers to as SSS, but then they refuse to cooperate with us, and so we have no option than to move on. And also, I need to just say this is my own opinion. I do not believe that. I think we have a lot of courageous judges who are ready to do justice in the country. I do not believe that our justices are scared of the SSS. No, because if that is the reality, then the court is of no need anyway. But I believe that circumstances, because you must also understand that the court, the legislative arm, the executive, all forms part of the government, and we also need to think about the aspect of public policy. So justices must not be there to amplify the crisis. They must be there to ensure that crises are addressed. So oftentimes they try to ensure that things like this are managed and balanced properly. But then if you approach the court and it is evidently clear that a particular agency of the government is in has actually shown utter disregard to rule of law and to court order, the court will be left with no other option than to act in the interest of justice. And that is what we hope to do. And we're starting, God's grace, tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning sounds so cool. And we will definitely follow up with that, because it's interesting to learn that at least there will be a contempt proceeding. Let me ask the last question for tonight, because I have to let you go. You have a lot of things to do, and I can see people beckoning on you from the back there. Yes, but let me ask the last one. But I'm going to consolidate like 2-3 questions into one. Just please assist us to answer there. The first 3 like into one. Lady K, what is your? I mean, can you just assure the public? Is she coming out any soon? And how soon can you like give us? Just suggest to us. And then that's one. Then 2, Chief Sunday Igboho himself still away in Benin Republic. People thought, well, Benin Republic would be safer for him, but it looks like they are still not releasing him to even proceed on his journey to Germany. And the court pronouncement you had, awarding about 20 billion naira to him, would you think that is a bait to see if he will want to follow that, to say, oh, I'm winning in Nigeria, so let me go extradite me to Nigeria, let me go and continue there, so that they can now hold him till the end of Buhari's administration and the rest of it? People are asking questions. Barrister,
yes, I'm talking about Lady K. We have faith in God and the law that Lady K will be out very soon. We're doing our best within the precinct of the law to ensure that she's released. But then we can only appeal to you, the media, to help us galvanize this issue, so that the DSS will understand that there's a need for us to have this lady back to reunite with our family. Then talking about Chief Sunday Igboho, I want you to know that Chief Sunday Igboho is very fine. He's in high spirit, and he's coming back to the country very, very soon. As a matter of fact, if you have someone in Ibadan, your state, you understand that there are high level of preparation for his coming back. And so we're doing all we need to do. the Nigerian government has not been able to do anything concrete or meaningful in Benin Republic. I can assure you that the last time they were there, they were stranded and they have to just return back because the country has got its own legal system and it's not a system you can actually hijack. So we are working within that level and we are very positive that Chief Sunday Igboho will be back to the country. And another thing again is that Chief Sunday Igboho is not fighting anyone. Right from time, his message has been very, very clear. What he's interested in is justice for all. So Chief Sunday Igboho is coming back to the country to live as a citizen who is happy, and he will continue to contribute his quota towards development, and his prayers and his demands will still remain because there's a need for us to fix this country. There's a need for us to ensure that there is peace and harmony and there's security, there's safety for people. So, and he's not going to drop his agenda or he's not going to drop his campaigns. He will continue to do that. So please expect Chief Sunday Igboho anytime from now. And talking about, okay, I'm looking at someone's question.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to ask any further question, but I deliberately just press it so that the person doesn't accuse me of not asking this question. So, what is asking about civil disobedience by lawyers? Is asking lawyers from certain extract or region of the country, but I don't think we need to regionalize anything. Disrespect for law is disrespect for law. Oh wow, Barrister is okay. Welcome back, Barrister.
Yeah, talking about our 20 billion, we will ensure that we get that money from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, from the government's coffers. Yes, this is simply because, you know, our concern is that Buhari should not use this money, should not borrow the money or use this money for another thing, because that money is important to remedy a lot of things the government has destroyed, you know, and that's that for that. So you were saying something about civil disobedience and what?
Yes, somebody was asking, why can't lawyers, particularly of the Middle Belt extracts and the South, just do some kind of civil disobedience because of the flagrant disregard for law by the SSS? I mean, like maybe some kind of boycott the courts whenever SSS is involved.
Because if you talk about democracy and you're agitating that you want a decent society, you must also understand that this must come with respect and regard for other people's opinion too, which implies that we have lawyers who are not inclined to the left. We have lawyers whose schools of thought has got nothing to do with what we're doing. And so in every society, you have those who are inclined towards the human rights far to the left. You have those who are inclined towards and who are conservative about issues. And you know, because there are a lot of concept or opinion about all these things. So we are not going to push anyone to do whatever they think they don't want to do. But then you see, as the people, a time is coming that we all will be frustrated at the same time. And our story will all look alike, and then we'll be left with no other option than to save ourselves. Perhaps we're not there yet. Recently, the Nigerian people saw the EndSARS revolution, and it was very, very massive. But then probably we'll have something bigger soon. I can't say that now until we all begin to share similar experience.
People are disturbing, people are disturbing Barrister's phone. I can see that. No, Allah. You will definitely come back.
Stories. And so it's happened to go. And so, so for now, my own message, my message to the world is that, or to Nigerians particularly, is that we all need to be vigilant, because even if you're in government today, tomorrow the table can change, and you can find yourself as the victim. Recently, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is now also an activist who has been protesting against this government and complaining about a lot of things he believes they're not being done well. But then he had the opportunity to fix the country.
You mean to say that a former president became a whaler?
And now it's now a comrade. So, so that's the kind of situation we are right now. So anyone can find himself in that station. But then a time is coming that a larger percent of the people will be frustrated and they will be left with no option than to liberate themselves. And so I am not the one calling for that liberation. I don't know how it's going to look like. I don't want anyone to come and disturb my business tomorrow that I'm calling for revolution. Yeah. So I am saying that at that point in time, when nobody is no longer safe, when you can't even protect your investment, when you discover that, I mean, the business of government, I mean, it's just fraud, then we all will have to come together, speak in the same language. At that time, we share a common consanguinity, and we want a country of our own, and we want liberation in the real sense of it. So I hope it won't come in 2023 if we don't have a decent election. But then let us just be expectant and show respect to those who believe, who are conservative, who think.
tó ẹ káàbọ̀ padà Barrister Pẹ̀lúmi Ọlájẹ́gbésì ẹ gbọ́gbọ́n ṣe yànnàná ọ̀rọ̀ yìí fẹ́yìn tẹ́ ṣe sùúrù láti wò láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ dópin ó dá mi lójú pé ẹ ò ní wulẹ̀ bí mí léèrè mọ́ pé kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Lédìké gbogbo ń tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ mọ̀ pátá ó lárákùnrin tí association journalist rán ó ní ó ti bá wa bí wọ́n nọ́ọ̀sì ti dá lóhùn yìí ẹni bí wọ́n ti yànnàná ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní pátápátá lọ́ọ̀rì kìnìún tí ò sí wàhálà kankan àdúrà tèmi sọ́lọ́run ẹlẹ́dàá ni pé gbogbo injustice gbogbo ìrẹ́jẹ tí wọ́n rẹ́wà jẹ yìí Olódùmarè á kú yọ wá nínú ẹ̀ ṣé bí mo sọ nígbà kan pé àwa Yorùbá nígbà tá a wà ní region tí wọ́n fi wá lẹ́tà tọ́jú ọ̀rọ̀ wa bóyá jẹ́ tàbí jẹ́rìí mo sì gbé wá dáadáa tí wọ́n fowó ṣe àti ìgbádùn táwa Yorùbá gbá ìtò dẹ̀ mí lójú ni pé kò sí tí wọ́n ranjú mọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tán fi fẹ́ ká lọ ju gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ wa lọ tí wọ́n rí kó níbí lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ṣé wá rẹ̀yìn tẹ́ jẹ́ olóṣèlú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àtẹ̀yìn àgbààgbà Yorùbá pàápàá jùlọ ẹ̀yin ọba Yorùbá ó mà ṣe o ọmọ ẹlẹ́ran ni yín tó ń jẹ egun tínú yín wá ń dùpọ̀ fún yín ní nǹkan nígbà tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bá ṣẹlẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin gangan ni ẹ wà ní àkóso ìmádarí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ṣẹ́yìn òró ni ọba ló máa ń ba lórí ohun gbogbo ṣọ́ba ba lórí ohun gbogbo mọ́ nísìn láyé eléyìí ọba ò ba lórí ohun gbogbo ọba tó bá ṣàkọjù gan ń bá òun náà máa fún àní local government ṣe àmàlù ránṣẹ́ sọ́ba níbi tí wọ́n bá yé jẹ́ dé tílẹ̀ Yorùbá bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé bẹ́yìn ọba lólórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣé bẹ́yìn ilẹ̀ bá máa pàṣẹ bó ṣe wù yín ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú yìí ebi ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ̀yin ilẹ̀ bá máa tẹ́kì ẹ̀ èlò náà wá ń fún yín nù tó ń papò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣẹ́yìn òwò ni wípé tá a bá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá tá a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí Yorùbá tí Yorùbá bá ń ṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gangan ntẹ́ ìgbà yìí kékeré ló máa jẹ́ lórí ntẹ́ màá rí àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n ń dààmú kiri wọ́n á ríṣẹ́ ṣe wọ́n á ríbi lọ wọ́n á ríbi gbà òbí tó ta ìró díẹ̀ láti fi rán ọmọ léèwé ó fomi jẹ́ gbingini yóò kàn máa fayọ̀ ká ní àmọ́ bámúbámú ni mo yó mi ò mọ̀ pé ebi ń pọ̀ mẹ́nì kọ̀ọ̀kan lẹ̀ ń bá kiri àwọn náà sì ti mọ̀ wọ́n mọ̀ pé Yorùbá gbọ́ wọ́n yá ń ju ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ fọ́bọ̀ wọ́n á gbé odindi pàdé ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ wọ́n á ju ẹyọ kan wọ́n á gé sí mẹ́rin wọ́n á pín fún yín wọ́n á ní ẹ máa jà sí ẹ̀yin kẹ̀rẹ́ ni wọ́n gé odindi pàdé nílé yín ẹ̀yin náà ẹ̀dẹ̀ jókòó kẹrò ẹ jókòó kẹrò àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n mọ̀tọ̀ bàbá kan nìyí tí wọ́n ṣàlàyé lórí pé àfi ká padà sẹ́sì àárọ̀ ká padà síbi tá a ti lù ú ká lọ fi ilẹ̀ padà ọmọ wù mí ká gbọ́ ní tí bàbá yìí sọ bàbá yẹn ṣàlàyé lórí pé nígbà tá a wà ní region tọ́lọ́mú dọ́mù yẹ gbé kó tó di pé wọ́n pa wá pọ̀ báyìí bàbá yẹn sọ àwọn àǹfààní tí Yorùbá rí ẹ jẹ́ gbọ́ bàbá náà mú padà bọ̀.
tí Nàìjíríà ò bá padà sí òótọ́ constitution through federalism, whereby autonomy will be for the state. Now they call them states. They must control their resources. Àwọn ọlọ́run fún náà gbogbo àlùmọ́ọ́nì nínú ilẹ̀ ti state wa ti wá ní o bọ́n ṣe láyé region yẹn o. Western region ń lo cocoa, palm oil àtàwọn èso míì. Northern region ń lo groundnut, bauxite, tin. Eastern region ń lo palm oil àti coal. Wọ́n wá dájọ́ fún federal government because in a federal system, federal government ò ní nǹkan kan ṣe pẹ̀lú education, agric, internal affairs. Nǹkan tí federal government wà all over the world tí Nàìjíríà náà dẹ̀ ti ṣe rí ni defence, currency, immigration, custom. Olóyè Lékan Àlàbí, ẹ̀kẹfà Olúbàdàn tilẹ̀ Ìbàdàn àti aṣojú àṣà àti nǹkan amánigbàgbé tán kójọ sí Ilé-Ifẹ̀, aṣojú àkọ́kọ́, first culture ambassador of the National Museum and Monument Ilé-Ifẹ̀. Nítorí ìjọ tí a ti tẹ̀lé constitution ní tí wọ́n sáìn fún nígbà tá a fi máa gba òmìnira, so tí Nàìjíríà ò bá padà sí òótọ́ constitution through federalism, whereby autonomy will be for the state. Now they call them states. They must control their resources. Àwọn ọlọ́run fún náà gbogbo àlùmọ́ọ́nì nínú ilẹ̀ ti state wa ti wá ní o bọ́n ṣe láyé region yẹn o. Western region ń lo cocoa, palm oil àtàwọn èso míì. Northern region ń lo groundnut, bauxite, tin. Eastern region ń lo palm oil àti coal. Wọ́n wá dájọ́ fún federal government because in a federal system, federal government ò ní nǹkan kan ṣe pẹ̀lú education, agric, internal affairs. Nǹkan tí federal government wà all over the world tí Nàìjíríà náà dẹ̀ ti ṣe rí ni defence, currency, immigration, custom. But Major General Johnson Thomas Umanakwe Aguiyi-Ironsi, the first military head of state of Nigeria, òun ló pa region rẹ̀. Òun wá sọ Nigeria the group of provinces. May 22, 1966 wọ́n pa àwọn Hausa lọ, àwọn Igbo nílẹ̀ north ni torí àwọn wò pé àwọn ò ní àṣẹ lórí area àwọn ọmọ. Ó mì pé wọ́n lè gbé any federal permanent secretary from e.g. Owerri to Azare in Bauchi state. Riot. Wọ́n pa Ironsi, wọ́n pa Lieutenant Colonel Francis Adekunle Fajuyi, Military Governor Western Region. Yakubu Gowon bọ́ sí ipò head of state. Òun kàn wá ragabu decree Ironsi yẹn. So gbogbo àwọn military government including civilian government wọ́n wá láti north. Àwọn kàn kó sí wo ẹ bá ń gbé wọ́n wá lọ di ẹrù tí ò kàn wọ́n sínú apẹ̀rẹ̀ tí wọ́n. So if like a military, if they made a decree today, it must begin with immediate effect. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Kano láì ṣírò mọ́ àwọn ará Port Harcourt. Ṣó bá àṣà wọn mu? Ṣé wọ́n fẹ́? Ṣé wọ́n ní tán fẹ́ fi ṣe? Òun la ṣe lòdì sí military command. Àwọn nǹkan tí ò kan apá Nàìjíríà míì tìpátìkúùkù náà fi ń kí gbẹ́sìn pé ẹ jẹ́ ká tún constitution Nàìjíríà jẹ́ àtúnyẹ̀wò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká restructure. Mo dẹ̀ máa ń sọ pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ pé ká restructure yẹn ẹ ṣàlàyé fáwọn tó kù, àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbádùn system tá à ń lò yìí. Ẹ rò pé wọ́n wà gbélé ni ọmọ èké tẹ́ bá rí abiyamọ ọmọ èké tí bá ń mu ọmú ìyá rẹ̀ lọ tí ò tí yò. Ẹ ń bá fakinlẹ́nu ọmọ tó bá fi gbé ta àfi tó bá yó. So ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ ni wọ́n fi ń gba kínní lọ́wọ́ ìkúrọ́. Àwọn tí wọ́n ti rí bẹ̀m̀bẹ̀ pẹ̀lú system ilé ẹ̀ á rí pé wọ́n wà jùlẹ̀ ní ẹ̀gbọ́n tí àwọn gómìnà kan sọ no restructuring. Kìnní kan wọ́n láwọn gómìnà náà tí wọ́n meet wọ́n sọ fáwọn south pé no ara yín lẹ sọ there is no kìnní kan control of resources. Àwọn ta ni ibi tá a ti ń padà bọ̀ nìyẹn. Mo ti sọ lórí program lẹ́nu ẹ má jẹ́ ká fi ìjà ogun ṣe o. Wọ́n ti ja ogun rí o tó ti lọ o. Ẹ bá ròyìn ogun tó bá rí ló máa mọ̀ pé ogun ò dá o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ara jókòó ká fi tọwọ́tọwọ́ ẹ wá ń bí system wo là ń lò tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà kan wá lọ gbé constitution 1963 jáde that allowed Western region under Premier Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ kó tó lọ contest prime ministership lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ and Premier Samuel Ládòkè Akíntọ́lá to use our resources to create all those first things tá n pariwo first television in Africa, first Olympic size stadium, the tallest building, Cocoa House, housing estate, Ikeja industrial estate, Apapa residential estate, first. Nígbà tá a ti fẹ́ gba òmìnira constitutional talks àwọn northerner they walk out of parliament ìgbà yẹn wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ and they were booed by the crowd. Pé ẹ̀yin ẹ fẹ́ ṣerúkú ni Sàdánà ní wọ́n bá ní okay àwọn fi clause sí kí ni clause wọ́n ní when feasible kí ni jẹ́ feasible. Anthony Enahoro, Chief late Anthony Enahoro, at the age of 21 moved the motion for independence 1953 21-year-old because wọ́n ti wà ojú wọn ti là wọ́n mọ ibi tó ń lọ àwọn kan ní lọ wọ́n ń bẹ Amadu Bello ni Zik ló ń bẹ in particular ọ̀dọ̀ ojú méjì ni ọ̀bẹ máa ń ní coin ánìkan mo wá like attitude Amadu Bello yẹn tí máa sọ lẹ́yìn sí àwọn yẹn ni pé olóyè Lékan Àlàbí Fúlàní mà ní Amadu mo ní téèyàn bá ṣe tó dá ká sọ kí ni èsì tí Amadu Bello Sir Amadu Bello Premier Northern Region fún Zik nígbà yẹn ó ní please don't rush us into independence Northern Region ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ fún we are not ready ìyẹn Zik àtún lo òyìnbó sọ pé PhD méjì wà lamẹ́ríkà àtún lo òyìnbó kàkàkà fún Amadu àní Benjamin orúkọ tí Zik lóhùn jẹ́ mọ́ awapè Benjamin you are a Christian and Igbo àtúpẹ́ bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ náà ní orúkọ táwọn láwọn ò jẹ́ mọ́ Jeremiah you are a Yoruba and a Christian Amadu I am an Arab and a Muslim we are not the same. Nǹkan tí Amadu ń sọ ní gbogbo wa yẹn ni tán ní kó jẹ́ Zik àwa ni pé no Amadu let us get independence first then no Amadu ani no let us identify and settle our differences before independence wọn gbọ́ òun làwọn ẹ̀kọ́ sí Afẹ́nifẹ́re ọ̀hún ànẹ́sẹ̀ south kìnìkan ìjọ middle council middle belt gbogbo àwọn tó ń pariwo sí yẹn fún restructuring nǹkan tí Amadu Bello sọ ní ọjọ́ kìíní nìyẹn we are not the same. Egun ti wọnú ẹran ti wọnú egun wo the first African Secretary General of the Commonwealth Sir Emeka Anyanwu Ẹ̀gbá níyàwó wọn náà tí mo generation tó ti bí àwọn ọmọ wọn àwọn grandchildren wọn kí kálukú máa lọlé ẹ̀ ṣé mi sí ìyá yáku ni àwa ṣẹ̀júwe pé ó bá ti dé Ìdó ó wọ̀rẹ́ lùwẹ̀ màmá Fúnláyọ̀ Ransome Kuti wàá bọ́lẹ̀ níta ṣàpọ̀n pé taxi yóò gbé délé bàbá rẹ̀ ṣé ó dábàá wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀ sáwọn lórúkọ àwọn tí wọn tiẹ̀ lórúkọ tí kò kàn wọ́n gbogbo wàhálà tẹ̀ ń fà kiri nígbà táwa kéré ilé ẹ̀kẹrin àjẹ́ǹgbẹ̀ SW1 stroke 131 nílé wa àwa alálégún pọ́nríkú one of the 5 leading magistrates in this land baba Yekin ara wọn kù sọ wa ni tápà ìyàwó ẹ̀ àwọn tó máa ń ta ráìsì lọ́nà ọjà bá wọn. Adẹ̀dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run I be 71 next month mo láwà nígbà táwọn kéékèèké ṣé wọ́n ìyá Yekin tápà wọ́n mọ̀ wá kíní sí ni pé ìyá Yekini èjì nánà bàbó tó bá ti dé à ń pa ó wọ bóòtù ó dẹ̀ pé ọ̀kadà yóò gbé ẹ lọ lóyún kí ni mo ló fẹ́ yà sí. Ordinary Nigerians there is no problem with ordinary Nigerians living together it is this so-called elite. Àwa ò já alágbàfọ̀ tó ń fọṣọ ní UI most of them are Igbo tó ń fọṣọ tó wà ní the cleaning service ní UI Ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ bóyá Yorùbá níyàwó wọn kan wá lọ bí pé àwọn Haúsá tó ń ta súyà ní Sábó a ní ó lè dárúkọ pé ọ̀rẹ́ mi wà ń bẹ̀ ordinary people kò kàn wọ́n kàn ṣáà ti rí oúnjẹ wọn jẹ kàn rí owó tọ́ ọmọ wọn kí ẹ̀mí wọn dè. Níjọ́ Jímọ̀ tó lọ lọ́hùn wọ́n tún lọ ṣe nǹkan tó ń pè ní MOCK àgbélẹ̀rọ treaty tí Gẹ̀ẹ́sì jẹ́ ká sign ní Kiriji war, Èkìtì Parapọ̀ war, Ìbàdàn Army versus Èkìtì Parapọ̀. Àwọn British wọ́n tọwọ́ bàbá ńlá bàbá mi bẹ́ẹ̀ lógun yẹn o. Ṣùbẹ́rù kẹrin àjẹ́ǹgbẹ̀ kọ́lọ́hún kó bá délé fún tán sign, àwọn bàbá Ọdẹ́rìnlọ, àwọn balógun tán lọ tọ́ bọ̀wé àti àwọn Ẹ̀gbá sójà ọkùnrin Ìjẹ̀ṣà yẹn Ògèdèngbé àní wọ́n ní wọ́n tọ́ bọ̀wé àlàáfíà pé kò sógun mọ́, and it was the longest intestine war in the world. But àwọn gẹ̀ẹ́sì ó tó gẹ́ para yín tó ẹ ti runra yín ti tó, so wọ́n lọ ṣe yẹn. Ogun ti parí in 1840, ètí mo náà sàyẹn 1886 yẹn o, ètò 1840 bàbá mi tó wà nú àwọn Ìbàdàn Army tó lọ lé àwọn Fúlàní jihadis kó lóṣogbo, wọ́n lé wọn ẹsẹ̀ wọn ò balẹ̀, wọ́n lé wọn kọjá Ọ̀fà. Balógun Ọdẹ́rìnlọ ni balógun tó kó wọn lọ. So àwọn Fúlàní ìsìn àti ẹni tó ń pè lọ́gà wọn tán ní òní kíní àwọn patron àti gbogbo kan lọ fún wọn ní ìwé ìtàn ni o, eléyìí ò kì í ṣe àhesọ o. Wọ́n Ìbàdàn Army under Ọdẹ́rìnlọ military strategy wọ́n lò all over the world nítorí ẹ̀ka máa study sí ní Yorùbá land yẹn, gbogbo ìtàn máa ń láwọn study general kíní kan Napoleon kíní kan Waterloo kọ̀ọ̀kan mi, eléyìí ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká wò báwo ni wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́, báwo náà dẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n wá jókòó, wọ́n wá wo àárín ara pé ẹgbọ́n àwọn people wọ́n ní ẹṣin ni wọ́n ń gùn, àwo lẹ́ṣin torí ẹṣin kó tó wá di pé òyìnbó dé tán fún wọn ní abẹ́rẹ́, ẹṣin máa kú ní forest area ni, ibi táwọn ẹṣin máa ń wà ní savannah tó wà sandy, so ẹṣin làwọn Fúlàní máa ń gùn. Náà wá ní pé ok tá a bá ní ká kọjú wọn ní daytime lójúmọ́ wọ́n sì wá lè ṣe o, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbógun tiwọn tó wá di òru ni wọ́n ṣe ogun yẹn, Jálómi war midnight, nígbà tí àwọn ẹṣin rí iná tí wọ́n rí rí, kò ń ṣe lampo, kò ń ṣe gas lampo, àtùpà, wọ́n fọ́nká ni wọ́n fọ́nká. Ìbàdàn Army wọ́n dẹ̀ ti lo nǹkan táwọn òyìnbó ń pè ní code ní sí code ni wọ́n ti lò fúnra sọ pé ẹ bá fẹ́ jà lóru o lè dá ara yín mọ̀, bọ̀ wọ́n ti sọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n tó bá pàdé ẹnìkan tó bá ti lo code yẹn fún tó bá ti lè dá ẹ lóhùn ara wa ni, èyí tí ò bá ti lè dáhùn àwọn enemy rẹ̀ pẹ́ẹ́n. Reality ni o, reality something that happened. Bọ́n bá gbọ́wọ́kọ́wọ́ wọ́n pàdé àwọn ọmọ àwọn bàbá tó lé bàbá ńlá wọn kọjá Ọ̀fà. Wọ́n ti lọ, wọ́n ti dájọ́, wọ́n ti lọ. O rántí gbà tó ń gbé lọ Kútọ́nù tó ń lọ kóòtù ni Olúbàdàn kábíyèsí ọba Sàlíù Adétúnjì Ajé Ògúnṣọ̀ 1 pẹ̀lú èmi ọmọ Èké àti president general CCI àtàwọn míì tá a lè dárúkọ báyìí. Kábíyèsí ní ká máa bọ̀ ká forí korí Ìbàdàn ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ìgbòho kì í ṣe ọmọ Ìbàdàn Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ, but ibi ló ti dìde, ibi ló kọ́lé sí, ní máa wòran. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ gbọ́ aṣojú Olúbàdàn wà ní Kútọ́nù tó lọ court, níbo làwọn kan wà táwọn ń gbà tá a di kékeré wọn sọ pé is a patriot, is a nationalist. Àwọn yẹn ṣe yọjú nígbà tí ogun lé bí tí Ìbàdàn ṣe rí nù. Ìbàdàn ló gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sílẹ̀ from the so-called àwọn ọmọ Danfodio kan báyìí, gbogbo bí orí kan tó ń fojú wọn rí Plateau, wọn láwọn làwọn nílẹ̀ Plateau pé bàbá àwọn kọ́ńkà ẹ̀. Jihadis Fúlàní wọ́n kọjá sọ̀yà rẹ̀ o gbọ́ orin Bàbá Lẹ́gbà Yusuf Ọlátúnjí, ọ̀bẹ ṣá ọmọdé lọ́wọ́ ó bójú ẹ̀yìn ó sọ ọ̀bẹ nù, ọ̀bẹ ṣá ọmọdé lọ́wọ́ ó bójú ẹ̀yìn. Ṣáàbẹ̀ ò ti ṣe tó ṣe arówó ló máa bínú ìhun tó re kọjá ti lọ. Sọ̀mí nítorí kọjá ti lọ. '61st anniversary of independence. èèyàn mírí fún Nàìjíríà ni pé
tó ṣe gbọ́n tí bàbá yìí sọ ó tiẹ̀ ti òun kò jẹ́ pé ń gbà míì lára àwọn tí bàbá yìí sọ èèyàn lè má fara mọ́ tán àmọ́ bàbá yìí sòdodo ọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹn tí àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bá máa tẹ́tí gbọ́. Bàbá yìí sọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run á kúkú ṣàánú Yorùbá, Ọlọ́run ó ṣàánú àwa ọmọ Yorùbá náà. Oríṣiríṣi làwọn olóṣèlú yìí ti dánwò, oríṣiríṣi làwọn tí wọ́n hùwà bí ọ̀gá sí wa ni wọ́n ń dánwò nílé òkèèrè sí Yorùbá. Ìbẹ̀rù tèmi kan ni wípé a ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ayé Àfọ̀njá àfi k'Ẹlẹ́dùà ọ̀ṣọ́ kó ṣàánú wa o, kó má ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ayé ìgbà tá a wà yìí, torí gbogbo òṣè sí àwọn olóṣèlú àtàwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn, gbogbo òṣè sí àtàwọn míì gan tí kì í ṣàgbààgbà pàápàá, àìmọye ọmọ Yorùbá míì tó jẹ́ pé kò ní o kò rí jẹ kò rí mu o, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá bi léèrè pé kí lẹ rí sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation á ní láíláyé kò sí tó jọ ẹ fẹ́ dà lúrú ni, àfi bíi tí òró rí, àfi bíi tí ò ṣe làákàyè. Ẹ ṣó dáa bá a ṣe ń bá lọ yìí ni, ṣó dáa bá a ti ṣe ń bá lọ yìí. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà ní àná mo gbé fídíò kan wá fún wa. Faisal ọmọ kí lorúkọ ọ̀gbẹ́ni tó gbé owó àwọn ọlọ́pàá, mo gbé kéèsì ẹ̀ wá tó jẹ́ pé like father like son tí wọ́n gbé, wọ́n dájọ́ fún ọmọ yìí ò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí kóòtù kò yọjú o. Ẹ rí pé tí wọ́n bá máa gbé lọ gbé bọ̀ Magu, ọmọ Magu àbí gbé Magu náà ló jẹ́ ẹ rí pé tí wọ́n bá máa gbé kéèsì yẹn lọ gbé bọ̀ ẹ ní gbọ́ bí tọ́rọ̀ yẹn parí sí, torí pójọ́ ọmọ Haúsá, torí pójọ́ ọmọ North, ṣó lè possible, torí pé kéèsì bàbá ẹ̀ di ọ̀la kò sẹ́ni tó lè sọ pé mo mọ ibi tó parí sí, di ọ̀la tilẹ̀ máa mọ̀ yìí kò sẹ́dá kan tó lè sọ pé mo mọ ibi tó parí sí, àárín ara wọn náà ni wọ́n fi mọ̀. Àwọn fọwọ́ bu ọmọ tí wọ́n, àwa Yorùbá ta àwọn tiwa síta ọmọ Yorùbá tiwa àṣìṣe ẹ̀ làwa ń wá kiri, àwa ń tú díẹ̀ kiri, àwa expose ẹ̀ sí danger ni, à ń fẹ̀ díẹ̀ síta, a ní kí kòkò máa pa tiwa jẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn gbọ́n débi wípé tó bá jẹ́ Yorùbá ni Abba Kyari, ó tún sọ sẹ́ẹ̀, tí Abba Kyari bá jẹ́ Yorùbá tipẹ́tipẹ́ láti wà l'Amẹ́ríkà tí wọ́n ti máa bá ṣẹjọ́, ó rèé o, wọ́n dojú ọ̀rọ̀ Abba Kyari rú ni o, wọ́n korí ẹ̀bẹ̀ kò borí ẹ̀. Láìpẹ́ wọ́n bi Màlàmí léèrè pé kí ló dé tẹ́ẹ̀tì gba Abba Kyari lọ Amẹ́ríkà, ó ní nínú òfin ó wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kóòtù òfin tí ò ní mí nì nítorí kójọ ọmọ wọn. Àmọ́ tó bá jẹ́ pọ́mọ Yorùbá ni ẹjọ́ ní ò tí ẹ̀ nídìí ìbéèrè, kò nídìí ọ̀rọ̀, torí pé Amẹ́ríkà ti sẹ́ẹ̀dì lẹ́tà wá lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ni wọ́n máa fi ránṣẹ́ síbẹ̀. Àwọn àgbààgbà Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan náà àtàwọn elite Yorùbá àwọn tó kàwé wọ́n á dẹ̀ máa kóòtù òfin lóríṣiríṣi tó báàkì ẹ̀ ọ́pù pé kí wọ́n fi ránṣẹ́, ó rèé o, ọmọ tí wọ́n ni wọ́n ṣe bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe yìí. Mo ti gbọ́ láìmọye kódà lẹ́nu akúṣẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ń ṣépè fún Ìgbòho tó lọ́dà lúrú ni ọ̀bàyéjẹ́ ni, ọ̀ǹtí tí Yorùbá bá gbọ́n la bọ́ ń bẹ̀ o, ọ̀ǹtí tá a bá gbọ́n la bọ́ nínú ẹ̀. Kí ló kàn Ìgbòho? Olówó lọ́wọ́, orí jájẹ, at least gbogbo àná fojú rírú ilé tó kọ́, ẹ wo tí wọ́n bàjẹ́ nínú ilé yẹn. Kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ millions o, billions ni tó bàjẹ́ nínú ilé yẹn. Ilé yẹn fúnra rẹ̀ ló lẹ́rù kó what? Ẹbí ẹ̀ wà ní Germany, àwọn ọmọ tó bí wà káàkiri ayé, bóyá ló lọ́mọ kan ṣùgbọ́n ní Nàìjíríà. Ẹjọ́ kí ló fẹ́ gain lẹ́yìn ìyá ẹ̀ kan dondo tó ní Nàìjíríà? Ẹbí ẹnu kó mú ìyá ẹ̀ kó tẹ́kọ̀lì tí kó gbà lóyìnbó lọ, kó lọ máa gbádùn lóyìnbó ni, kó máa wo ìyà tó ń jẹ Yorùbá. Ṣùgbọ́n kò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, ó gbé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá rù. Kíní kan ni mo fẹ́ kó yé wa. Tọ́rọ̀ ìbá ti bọ́ lọ́wọ́ ní sẹ́ẹ̀tì generation Ìgbòho yìí. Lady K wọ́n ṣe tó bá ráyè bọ̀ pọ́rọ́, ó dá mi lójú pọ̀ ọmọbìnrin yìí ò ní dá sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation mọ́. Tó bá dẹ̀ dá sí ajẹ́pọ̀ mọ́ ọkọ ni. Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n fìyà jẹ tán fi wọ́n jẹ gbé yìí, tí Ìgbòho bá yí bìrì lọ́la tó bá lóun ò ṣe mọ́, tala tó fẹ́ rí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o ní generation tiwa yìí tó tún fẹ́ lóyá mo tún gbọ́rọ̀ Yorùbá rú. Ṣé ní ìtàwọn èèyàn ṣe yìí? Àníjọ́ Lady K ti dé bẹ̀sẹ̀ ní ìgbọ́ lẹ́nu ọba kan rí. Níjọ́ tí Ìgbòho ti débi tó wà, mi ò gbọ́ kọ́ba kan dárúkọ ẹ̀rí. Káàtó wàá sọ pé kán wá torí kí ló burú tó bá jẹ́ àwọn northerners yẹn ni wọ́n ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Kó jẹ́ gbàrú Ọbásanjọ́ wà ní president ló gbé ọmọ tí wọ́n kan pa mọ́sọ̀tù sósì bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn á ti dí ìpápá, wọ́n á ti kóra wọn jọ, wọ́n á ti lọ, wọ́n á máa pàrà sọ̀rọ̀ kìbẹ̀ tó pàrà ọjà ni. Àwọn ọba wa jókòó síbẹ̀, àwọn olórí wa jókòó síbẹ̀. Àwọn ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀tẹ̀ ti dé, wọ́n káàbọ̀ wọ́n dé láti London, agbọ́pọ́n ti dé lánàá, ọ̀nà dé lálẹ́ àná, ẹ káàbọ̀ o, ẹni mò ń wí ti yé yín. Wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ president nísìn. Àlọ́ olóṣèlú ló ní kán fi Ìgbòho sí pamọ́ sọ́hùn pé kó má ìwàlé náà báyìí kó lè jẹ́ káwọn dìbò 2023. Yorùbá ní o kì í ṣe àwọn táwọn náà ti fẹ́ ni pé kí wọ́n gbé wá bí káwọn gbé sẹ́wọ̀n tàbí káwọn pa. Báwo Yorùbá ní rárá kán fi sọ́hùn, kán sábà wọn tọ́jú ẹ̀ di 2023 káwọn lè dìbò. Àdàbà kọ̀jẹ̀ kò mọ̀ pé inú léwu lòun bàjẹ́. Ẹ̀bà fíṣọ àwọn ọmọ yín jẹ́. Tẹ́ńbẹ́lẹ́ tó bá mú ti bọ́ lórí eléyìí tí Yorùbá ò kó lóko ẹrú. Ó dẹ̀ kù sọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run o kí Yorùbá tó kó lóko ẹrú láéláé. Òdodo ni mò ń sọ yẹn o. Ó dẹ̀ kù sọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run kí Yorùbá tó kó lóko ẹrú. Ẹ rí pé mo tẹnumọ́ lóṣèlú. Ọmọbìnrin kan ó tiẹ̀ fi ṣeré. Ó fi ṣeré gbogbo tú táwọn olóṣèlú wa ń pa lórí bí wọ́n ṣe máa fún àwọn èèyàn nígbọ̀n bàbá tí wọ́n bá bayé jẹ́ fódìdí ọdún mẹ́rin. Tó bá wá kù díẹ̀ kí ọdún mẹ́rin yẹn pé tán tó fẹ́ lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí tàbọ̀ tó fẹ́ lọ kò mí tó ga jù yẹn lọ, bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń wá bá àwọn èèyàn pé ẹ dìbò fún wa, tí wọ́n á fún wọn lówó, wọ́n á fún wọn rẹ̀sì, wọ́n á fún wọn lálùbọ́sà, fún wọn magí. Wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé yà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn bí ń pa wọ́n ní wọn ò ṣe fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn yó kán lè máa rí wọn lò. Ọmọbìnrin yẹn wá fi ṣeré. Ṣùgbọ́n téèyàn bá wò ó, n tó fi ṣeré yẹn kì í ṣeré o. Mẹ́sẹ̀jì kan lọmọbìnrin yẹn pass. Mẹ́sẹ̀jì kan ló pass. N tí máa fi parí fídíò èyí rèé, tí máa fi ṣe lónìí. Ẹni báwo lè fi rẹ́rìn, ṣùgbọ́n mẹ́sẹ̀jì tọmọbìnrin yẹn pass ló jẹ́ kí n gbé fídíò yẹn wá. Pé táwọn gọ́fúnà wa báwo táwọn olóṣèlú bá tiẹ̀ wò bóyá wọn á jẹ́ rorí, táwọn bá wá rorí ọmọ ẹ̀yìn tó fẹ́ dìbò ńkọ́. Káwọn aráàlú náà tó fẹ́ dìbò wò kọ́ wọrú fídíò yẹn kí wọ́n wá jókòó kan rorí pé 10,000 tí wọ́n máa fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀ṣọ̀n bá ń bọ̀, 5,000 tó máa fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀ṣọ̀n bá ń bọ̀, aṣòfin ra future ni. Aṣòfin gbogbo yín lọ́wọ́ yín ni. Ẹni bá tún gbowó tó gbowó kọ́bẹ́ tí wọ́n dé tán pín ìrẹsì fún yín, wọ́n ti mọ̀ ìrẹsì oúnjẹ ẹ máa jẹ fọ́dún mẹ́rin ni wọ́n ti pín fún yín yẹn. A fi yín lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú fídíò yẹn kẹ́yìn náà wo tọmọ yẹn fi ṣeré. Wọ́n fi ṣeré ni, ṣùgbọ́n mẹ́sẹ̀jì tí wọ́n pàṣì kọjá eré, mẹ́sẹ̀jì téèyàn máa wò tó máa sunkún torí Nàìjíríà yìí ni. Ibi tí wọ́n báyé jẹ́ dé nílùú yìí. Àwa ẹ̀lẹ́tọ́rẹ́tì náà gọ́gọ́gọ́ tá a gọra wa àjẹbánu tí ò jẹ́ ká gbọ́. Tó máa fi wálẹ̀ pẹ̀lú fídíò yẹn. Oníyanṣẹ́ ọlọ́kà ṣe ń gbẹ̀yìn tẹ́ ẹ bá mi jẹ́ tèmi. Gbóyin náà ni mo kí o. Mo ṣe ládùúgbà pé lágbára Ọlọ́run àti àti Lady K àtẹni tí wọ́n tán jọ gbé ní agbára Ọlọ́run láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. Ọlọ́run á bá wa tú wọn lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run. Lójú ayé wa kan náà yìí ni o. ọlọ́run á fi bá wa tú wọn lẹ̀. Mo fi àsìkò yìí kí olóyè Sunday Igboho pé happy birthday. Èmi ò dẹ̀ kí ọmọ bíbí inú tèmi náà Fatihat Aláwìyé, mo kí òun náà pé happy birthday. Lágbára ọlọ́run adìrúdìgbà èmi bàbá á jèrè ẹ. Nígbà tí iṣu ẹ bá jiná, omi ò ní wà nù sàárè, ìyẹ́ ẹ náà ò ní wà nù sàárè lágbára ọlọ́run. Tó títí tí màá tún fi mú ètò mi ìwẹ̀ bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ náà ló ń kí wa o. Ẹ má wàá gbàgbé, ẹ gbé ọjà yín wá ká bá yín polówó. Ẹ wá advertise bí jíngù lẹ́ní ni, kódà dórí ìpolówó, dórí nǹkan ṣíṣe, ayẹyẹ ṣíṣe, a ṣetán láti bá yín pèsè ayé. Ẹ ṣàpè marketing manager wa, nọ́mbà ẹ̀ olè wò yẹn. Ẹ pé yóò dá yín lóhùn. Ẹ̀yin nílé ìwé ni, ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì lẹ́ní tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ kí gbogbo ayé máa wo ìsìn tẹ́ ẹ ṣe. Àbásàlátù fẹ́yìn mùsùlùmí tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn máa wo àsàlátù yín, àbáyẹyẹ kan lẹ fẹ́ ṣe ni. Ẹ̀yin ẹ pé bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ TV, BGI TV, á bá yín lọ, á wà rékọ́dù yá dẹ̀ gbèsè ayé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ kó jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ní gbogbo ayé wò, a máa live stream ẹ̀. Tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ tá a bá ṣe tán lẹ́fẹ́ ká bá yín edit ẹ̀, ẹ fi gbá sí ẹ fàwọ́ sí ká bá yín nà sáyé tí gbogbo yé àgbọ̀ ayé àwò. Tó bá dì jẹ́ pé olówó kéréje lẹ́yìn, àbò oníṣẹ́ ńlá ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ́ ńláńlá, ẹ pè wá, á bá yín gbèsè ayé. Èyíkéyìí tẹ́yìn bá ń ṣe, ẹ sá pé BGI TV, bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ TV. Ní agbára ọlọ́run, ojú tẹ́ fi wò mí ò ní fọ́, etí tẹ́ sì fi gbọ́ mi ò ní di ní agbára ọlọ́run. Mo fẹ́ fi yín lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú fídíò ọmọbìnrin yẹn. Tẹ́ ẹ bá wò ó, tẹ́yìn náà bá rí ẹ̀kọ́ sí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì. Mo ń kí wa pé láyọ̀.
So what do you have here?
Rice and tomato.
Will you still complain I did not build road?
No, ma.
Will you still complain I did not build hospitals?
No, ma.
So this is your own share. Go and enjoy, go and enjoy. Are you not the woman that lost her husband?
Yes, ma.
Your husband died because they say I did not pay his gratuity.
Yes, ma.
Have you buried your husband?
Yes, ma.
When did you bury him?
Last year.
Last year.
Yes,
and you have come to receive your own rice and your own tomato.
Yes, ma.
Okay, no problem. Go and enjoy. Go and enjoy.
Thank you, ma. Hey, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Go and enjoy.
Good day, Madam Governor. Your people have complained you have not paid worker salary, you have not built road, you have not built hospital, and you are still coming out for the second time. How do you think these people will vote for you again for the second time after promising them? How can you convince them for them to vote for you? What strategy do you have?
The strategy is simple. We are adopting the more you look, the less you see strategy. Well, it's a simple thing. For you to win any political post in Nigeria, you just need to be humble. My co-governors did it. In the person of Owelana Yorocha Okorocha, the former governor of Imo State. Okorocha was leaking watermelon from street to street, road to road. Rocha Okorocha almost finished 1 trailer load of watermelon where he was begging people to vote for him. What of Willie, the current governor of Anambra State? Willie Obiano was jumping from one keke to another, from one Okada to another, walking, hugging granite sellers, hugging pure water sellers, just for them to vote for him. And Willie is the current governor of Anambra State. So for you to win the people's heart, you have to come to the people's level. You have to be humble. You have to adopt the humility methodology, humility mechanism, and every Nigerian will vote for you. Secondly, give them money. Nigerians are hungry. Just give them money. Give Nigerians money, and they will vote for you and vote for you over and over again. Secondly, or thirdly, give them rice. Nigerians don't joke with jollof rice and fried rice, and rice and stew. That is why every Sunday, almost all the homes in Nigeria cook rice. When the federal government closed border, Nigerians almost collapsed because of Abakaliki rice and foreign rice. Give them rice and you will win election. They said I did not build road for them, that I did not build hospitals, that I did not do nothing for them in the state. But when I assumed office, of course I was supposed to build hospitals, I was supposed to do roads. But what is the need? When Nigerians love temporary results instead of the permanent ones, I had to save the money. This is part of the money I'm supposed to use to construct road. This is part of the money I'm supposed to use to build hospitals. I decided to save it to buy trailer loads of rice and tomato to share to them during election, and that is what is happening. That is exactly what is currently going. I have to give them money and I have to give them rice. When I did my first tenure, I gave them 1,000 naira to vote for me, and I was voted in. But after the NSAS protest, it now get to us We now realize that Nigerians are very much awoke. They might not accept 1,000. So what do? We have to re-strategize by giving them 5,000 naira, 15 cups of rice, 1 tin tomato, 1 gesha, and 1 big onions. There is no family in Nigeria today that you will give 15 cups of rice that will not vote for you. No family, because Nigerians are hungry. Are they not the ones begging from one giveaway post to another? So that is the strategy. For you to win, just give them rice, give them money, be humble, and you are a governor already.
Madam Governor, they are killing people in your state. Why are you not concerned about it?
They are killing people in my state. I heard that. Fulani herdsmen, they are killing my people. Well, we are not concerned because we don't love the people. We don't love the people that are voting for us. When you love the people that are voting for you, when they kill them, you will be concerned. And I know that many people are not really happy because they will say, why are the Eastern governors not talking? They are killing people. Why Boko Haram have not been proscribed? Why the Fulani herdsmen have not? Because we cannot help the situation. Our hands are tied. Secondly, we don't love the people. We can only speak for the people or feel concerned for the people if we love the people. We only want them to vote for us. We give them money, they vote. That is what we want. If they want to kill all of them, let them kill all of them. What is my business? I only want to get money, more money, as a governor.
Will Nigeria be better again?
Nigeria cannot be better. Not rocket science. Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb. Nigeria cannot be better when we have hungry journalists like you. Nigerian journalists are the problem Nigeria is facing. Just like this interview that you are asking me this question, once this interview gets to the public domain, it's going to jeopardize my chances of becoming the governor of my state. And the opposition party will use it against me. And I need to collect the clip from you. So because I want you to tell lies, what will I do? Nigerian journalists only understand the language of money. Brown envelope journalists, just give them money. And that is it. The truth is truncated. Give them money to tell lies. They will tell as many lies as possible. And everything comes to your favor. I have sat down as a governor in my state for more than 4 years, paying journalists to tell lies. Paying journalists to tell lies. And that is what is benefiting me as a governor. So if you want to succeed as a governor, pay journalists in Nigeria to tell lies. They don't have integrity. They're only after their money. They are hungry.
What is the way forward?
There is no way forward. Nigeria doesn't have any way forward. I have said it countless times. I'm a governor. And I'm speaking from the perspective of a governor. My co-governors know that I'm speaking the language they're speaking. Just that we are cowards. We are scared. We cannot talk. When we talk, the people that are holding our political posts, we take it away from us. So what do? We dance to their tone. We are like their slaves. We are slaves to the organ at the top. They are there. They have greater powers. So there is no way forward. I have said it countless times. The reason why I'm even open is because I'm going to collect this clip from this journalist. Yes. Because Nigeria needs to be disintegrated. We already know, I know.